Hello, ladies and gentlemen of SeemsGoodMagic.com. This is Travis. What's my name again? Oh god, words are hard. Good morning, it's Travis. We're drafting. There we go. That's better. That's better. So this pack, we kind of derp on the rare a little bit, and that, I mean, I take colorless lands highly, but I'm not taking this one this highly. I think I like the embodiment of furry. There's a reality hemorrhage, there's a stalking drone, which may be the best green common. There's also a void grafter if you just want to go on power level, but like the embodiment of fury, if left on its own, can just win a game, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. This might just be the droid I'm looking for. It doesn't mean we have to be red. I've had a tendency of drafting like Jund decks lately, and I think Balothnol is to blame for all of that silliness, but yeah, I think we'll get started with the embodiment of fury, and we can decide how angry we want to be. There's very little chance we spin the hemorrhage, but we might spin the Maw of Kozilek. Well, hello there. This pack asks some questions, and hopefully we can follow it up with some answers. There's an Ondu War Cleric, which is one of the better white commons, not the best one, and there's an Oblivion Strike. I think I'm going to take the Oblivion Strike. Black-red is typically not something I love playing, but I have seen some good versions of the deck come together. It's a challenge to get the colorless mana and the black mana and the red mana in there. Like I said, I've played Jund, which is just big green monsters and good black and red removal, so we could easily be going in that direction again, which is a happy place. Well, okay. I mean, at this point, we're not necessarily red because we have not seen good red cards. Like Maw of Kozilek ain't nothing to write home about. But there's Visions of Brutality, which is, I mean, not something I'm going to pick super early, but I would play in an aggressive black deck, and I certainly like Havoc's Hour, but alright. Let's get Oblivion striking. Everybody was Oblivion striking. Yeah. Just drink your coffee, Travis. Alright, so here we are with actually a lot of picks. A lot of picks. There's a core Sky Climber if we want to go black-white. There's not a good red option. There's a Saddleback Lagak, which I like, which doesn't really fit in with the double Oblivion Strike thing. There's also a Spider if we want to go green. I mean, Allied Reinforcements may just be the pick if we wanted to go black-white. It's missing, you know, that whole every 2-drop thing. It's also Wall of Resurgence. Like, most decks are going to be interested in that too. I think this may just be a good card, and core Sky Climber. All of these are fair cards. The Sky Climber has the advantage that it can win a game. You know, with me taking 2/4s that I'm definitely going to play, I think I'm going to give Wall of Resurgence a try for the first time. Let's see where we end up with this. This could be interesting. Could be interesting. I don't mind Translator, but it doesn't really go with the other stuff we're doing. Flameseeker kind of does, in that you're going to have some allies if we hedge back into black-red, but I mean, you're not playing red for the creatures. And like the Avenger, I guess, goes in some decks. I'm going to go with the Flameseeker here and see if we end up doing this thing. It's just weird because we've got the Path Warden, the Maw of Kozilek, and the ever-popular Sky Scourer. There's also a Holdout Settlement, the Tears of Valakut. I guess I'm going to grab the Path Warden. I was going to say, maybe we end up in Jund, ha ha ha, because every video I do ends up in Jund, but, I mean, here's the fixing. I'm clearly not forcing it. We've got 2 Oblivion Strikes, a Path Warden, and an Embodiment of Furry. I mean, you would take it too, right? I would. I'm gonna. And then there's the spider, just solidifying us, and you should be playing these colors, Travis. Why wouldn't you play these colors? It's a spider. I think the wall's probably out. I like Void Grafter, but we're pretty far off of that. So I'll take the Vestige. I expect what's happening here, in all truthfulness, is we're moving into some sort of red-green beats deck with 2 O-Strikes. And I'm usually interested in a Seer's Lantern, but I think I'm just going to grab the Shores and have really good mana. That seems like a thing I would like. Herpaderp. Alright. Done it is. And there's another spider. I'll kind of play all the spiders I can get. I've been really impressed with spiders. I've been taking Flaying Tendrils later and later, although I do still like the card. I don't think it's something we're like going out of our way to get now. The Vestige is pretty cool in that it lets us take some Stalking Drones or something. I'm not sure yet which of these colors we're splashing and which is our main. I mean, it looks like green-red splash the O-Strikes, which are fine off of a Quagmire, a Vestige, and a Shores. I don't really think we need Loam Larva, but a couple of 2-drops would be nice. I think we could even fit in the Stalking Drones. Kind of want 3 sources for those. But that's a fine start, right? Although to be fair, our red's not really very good. You cut the Flame Seeker and all of a sudden we're just kind of splashing for the Fury. Well, hello there, Nisa. How are you today? You want to be in our deck? I think that can be arranged. You take Planeswalker when you see it. Essence Depleter's a really good card too. We'd certainly play a Baloth Pup and can probably start thinking about getting Legax in here, but I ain't turning down Nissa. Nissa would like to play. Are we spinning anything here? Maybe. Probably not. Maybe one of the green cards. There can't be that many green drafters, can there? We'll see. Baloth Null. Well, I understand we need 2 drops. But I mean, I'm not going to not take it. We'll get some 2 drops later. We'll find them somewhere. Like Loam Larva. Although there is a Boulder Salvo if I just want to go hog wild on the Junding. I mean, Loam Larva starts to look a little bit better when you've got a Nissa in the deck. I'm just not super stoked about it. Am I ready to go hog wild 3 colors with a Planeswalker, or do I just want to like go a little bit more consistent? Because like the Flameseeker is nothing special. I can splash for the Embodiment of Fury. You know what? That's what I think I'm gonna do. Because I don't want to take a 2-drop here. I want to take a removal spell. If I have to take one later, I have to take one later. Well, there's one that I can play that's at least a 2/1. But I'm not going to play anything else. And I think I've got enough mana fixing, so I can feel comfortable taking a Loam Larva here. So just be base green, kind of splashing red and black. And these cards are worth splashing for, I think. So we can take our Larva here. That's fine. Ooh, Null Caller. I like Null Caller a lot. I'm not taking it here. And the card's bad. Don't get me wrong. It is not good. You should not be taking it. It is bad. But I like the card. What do I want here? I mean, I kind of don't have any need for colorless mana, so taking more Unknown Shores doesn't seem like it's going to do much. The Lantern, I guess, is okay. It ramps us to a Path Warden. I can take Vines. I'm usually happy having 1 Vines in my deck, or I can just take a Cinder Hellion. But if I'm going to take the Cinder Hellion, I'd probably rather have the Lantern. It's either that or the Vines. Vines is good versus Flyers, but I've already got Spiders for that. I'm going to take the Lantern, but like I don't need this colorless mana. And it's all over the place here. Summoner's good with Nissa, but I think we take the drone here and hedge a little bit black. Like we're basically splashing 2 red cards. I'd really like this drone, but I've been stupid and not taken 2 drops. And it gives me an excuse to want this lantern in my deck. What are you doing here? Why are you here? I don't understand why you're here. I could almost splash that. I can't take the blinding drone, like we're not going to be able to play it. I guess I just take the translator, it's playable. Although I've brought Spark Mage's Gambit in a lot, I think I'll just take the translator. It makes the lantern a little bit better. Alright, more better mana, sure. Okay, we spun the Baloth Pup. That's fantastic. And it means we're one of a few green drafters here, because there were some good green cards here. I don't remember what the other one was, but there was one thing that I thought would go before these two, and it did. But getting these back means that we should see good green in BFZ. And as we all know, green was amazing in Battle for Zendikar. Like, that was the defining color of the format. Except, yeah. I mean, I think our removal suite's still fine. And I'm not desperate enough to want a Tar Snare, so apparently I didn't have to be taking Loam Larvas highly at all. They were just all over the place. And there's a Hellion if we want another finisher, which currently we probably do. And there's another Hellion if we want a finisher, which currently we probably don't. Actually, maybe I'm more interested in double Hellion than I am Translator. Like, we're going to have red by the time we get here. And if you swap this for a red 2-drop out of the next pack, all of a sudden we're just splashing black for 2-0 strikes and a null. And that's essentially free with the mana we already have. So going into pack 3, still don't know what colors we're going to be in, but we should solidify by pack 4. I don't anticipate that being a problem at all. Evolving Wilds does go a long way towards making a good mana base. Catacomb Sifter goes a long way towards making me happy. And snapping Gnarlid goes a long way towards snapping Gnarls. I mean, Sifty just does a lot for us, doesn't he? Good old Sifty. And I don't have to play both Hellions or either Hellion. Like, these are like emergency need of 5 drops. I just don't know if I can pass Evolving Wilds in a deck that's trying to be this greedy on the mana base for a 3 mana 2/3. I can't do it. It also potentially gives us some shenanigans with that Embodiment of Fury. I'm going to take the Wilds. I'd just rather have good mana. Like, none of those spells was amazing enough that I'm like, I can't not take this. This pack, on the other hand, is basically full of amazing cards for every color that's not Jund. So I guess it actually kind of comes down to, what do I not want to play against? And I guess it's an Angel of Renewal. Like, we could potentially splash that if we're like, hey, we need a giant white flyer. I'm not being crazy, am I? No, none of these cards does anything for our deck. Like I said, green in Battle for Zendikar are not amazing. What? That guy looked like a healer for a second, didn't he? You saw it. I know you saw it. I saw it. Probably would play a Lifespring Druid, but I think I'm just going to go with the Invoker here. It's another 2-drop, and we need some more of those. It's also a 2-drop that gets better as the game goes on, and we would like to be heavily green. It's one of the few good green cards that are here. So Channeler is probably better than Hellion, except we're not really doing anything with the mana. Like, our curve stops at 6, and I've already got a bunch of 5s that I'm happy with. I think I may just take this Nettle Drone and accept that black is probably the splash, which I was initially a little upset about, because I would want to be able to cast my 2-drop on turn 2. But this guy's still fine later when you can activate the Death Touch. It's not great, but it's fine. And we don't have like an overwhelming need for colorless sources, so I don't really need the channeler there. I'm going to take the drone. It's not untapping a lot, but it's a 3/1 that can attack and block and ping. I think I would play one more big thing, but it's not going to be a 6 mana 5/5. Certainly not going to drone on and on about it. God, Resolute Blade Master. So Mardu, for those of you playing along at home, was the answer. Yeah, mediocre 5 is not what I need here. I'm going to take the Blade Master. There's a chance we splash that off of an Evolving Wilds. Yeah, like red-white would have just been great. I like Territorial Baloth a lot. It is one of my favorite finishers, and I think one of the reasons to be green. If I take it here, I'm replacing a Cinder Hellion with it, which I think in most cases is an upgrade. However, I may just want this Lifespring Druid. It gives me another way to ramp to a 5. And these guys are significant. Plus, we're playing multiple colors. All right, like one more dude and we're in business. Well, that's kind of a dude. I'm getting less interested in the Fertile Thicket because I'm looking at running so many non-basics, so that's not in the running. I don't hate Giant Mantis, but it kind of just sits there and blocks, which is fine if you've got a Nissa out, but I think Myers Malice is the droid I'm looking for. Like one more creature of any kind and we're in business, and it can even be that Translator from our sideboard, or even the Flame Seeker. Like he doesn't really have any ally friends to party with, but that's okay. We'll still take you. I could consider the Mindraker with the double O strike. Like, it's realistic we can turn that on sometimes. And I kind of don't need a Kozilek Sentinel. Yeah, I'm not super thrilled about it, but that may make it in the deck. Oh, why hello there, Catacomb Sister. That's your new name. I said it by accident, but you are now Catacomb Sister. Welcome to the deck, sister. Yeah, I don't know about splashing a Nettle Drone. I'm just going to hate this idiot. Actually, no, I'm going to hate the Flyer. Flyers are terrible. I don't want to play against Flyers. Yeah, I shouldn't do that when there's a sideboard card I might actually want. If somebody's playing Awaken Spells and Isolation Zones, I will be glad I have access to Reclaiming Vines. Call of the Scions. I need a small compact car. Alright. Actually, you know what? I'm never playing this. And I have sideboarded Voracious Null in against an opponent who had 2 or more containment membranes. Like, it starts to become a thing. And this deck, the main reason why you would do something like that is this deck has some graveyard synergy. And if they containment membrane your Spider after you attacked with it or whatever, I'm just going to hack this. I don't want to swallow growth. Then you want a way to get it in your graveyard, and this guy does that. Like, it's very unlikely that we find that deck and play against it, but if we do, we are prepared. Alright, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. I think I can actually put one more card in here and play 17 lands, because the mana's actually good. We don't need it for color sources. So we can play like a Corpse Churn, just as card draw shenanigans. We can play another one of these allies. We can put our buddy Mindraker in here and have one more dude. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with that, because we've got like the Lone Larvas to fetch out more lands if we need them. The removal's just fine. I'm happy with 2 premium and 1 great removal spells in a deck, and this is the combat trick of the format, at least in my opinion. We want to go heavy green so we can hit Nissa, and I think red is our splash. You guys may not have been able to hear the air quotes there, but it was there. The other option is to splash the Blade Master. I like the Blade Master, but I don't know that we actually need to splash the Blade Master. Like, the mana looks good to me here. And I think we can run the Vestige and the Shores. Give us a little bit of value with the S-Laughter Drone. Not much else, though. Like, there's an argument to take Shores out and not run it. Because it's not fixing you for much. Let's see what the mana sources look like. So we're predominantly green. We already knew that. These duels are helping, and that wilds is helping. And I like the vestige here. Like that, I feel like it is actually fixing us. But let's see what we could get away with on basics if we're doing it this way. This would give us 6, 7, 8, 9. I need at least one more forest, possibly more. Let's see where we are on our other sources. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 red. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 black. Yeah, I think I'm going to cut a mountain for a forest. We can use the wilds to get the other mountains, the loam larvas to get them, and we've got 2 more black cards than we do red cards, one of which is relatively late, but this still gives us a reasonable option of being able to cast the Slaughter Drone early, and also gives us a possibility of being able to use O-Strikes if we need them. Like the Nettle Drone, I'm not really counting that as a 3-drop, although it could happen. I mainly want to make sure the mana base can support a turn 3 Nissa if that's possible. And like if we go 2-drop Nissa, make a plant, it can be pretty good shape. Yeah, and we've got some late game shenanigans going with the Seer's Lantern. I'm pretty comfortable with this. I'm going to submit this up, and we will see you guys and gals for round 1 here in just a moment.